All right, guys. So I'm shooting this video just to show y'all, like a quick update about my system and how it's still doing good. Y'all see that I'm at 90%. I haven't had any problems, but I did just recently installed a Generac backup generator, and I did that just in case we have 6 or 7, maybe 8 days of the cloudy days with no sun coming in. It's kind of cloudy day today, but we still bringing in 250 watts. So we, bringing in a little power, just a little power. And I wanted to talk about the MPP solar. I've been having a problem on getting the generator power to come in the input and charge the AC input. That's been a problem for me. So what I did was I installed a ground mount, and I'll go shoot that video a little later, or I'll go outside and I'll show y'all what I installed and how I installed it. So I've seen videos where they say on MPP solar you have to install a ground mount. I'm not 100% sure that it worked, but I believe it did, because now I'm getting AC power and I'm able to charge the batteries with the generator. So how I got it set up is, once the power from the inverter hit a certain voltage, then it'll click off, the generator will cut on, and it would charge the batteries and also supply the load. So if you bought one of these inverters right here, the 5000, the 5048, the LV5048 inverter MPP solar, I would recommend you to install a ground mount. I mean, I'm saying ground mount. Well, ground rod, put it like that. Put a ground rod in the ground and run a wire to either the breaker box, or you can run it directly into the inverter. How I have mine set up is I ran mine from the ground into the transfer switch. For the Generac, it was a 30 amp transfer switch. I ran the ground rod in there and I grounded there. And then I ran 2 wires to a disconnect, and then from the disconnect into the inverter. And I also have a breaker. All this right here is temporary. What y'all looking at is temporary. People always talk about the wires, but trust me, everything I'm doing is temporary. I will make a easy, simple installation video with the GYLL batteries. That's 20 kilowatt hours right there, storage. Like I said, I'm sitting at 90% on a cloudy day. But I will make a easy, I'm gonna put a whole sheet of plywood right here, and I'm gonna run step by step and show y'all how easy it is to go off grid. The only thing I might not show is the solar. I'm gonna have to go up there and show y'all how I have my solar set up. I don't have that many watts coming in like everybody that's bringing in 10,000 watts of solar and stuff like that. I haven't got there yet. I really don't need it as of right now, because you gotta understand, the more batteries you add, the more solar you have to add. Because I have a guy where his system is not charging like it was, but it's only not charging that way because we added a whole nother 16 kilowatts to the system. And when you add battery storage, you have to add more solar panels to charge those batteries faster. That's why in my videos I always tell you, overkill the system. And I say that to say this, so you won't have that problem. The more solar panels you have, if you have, let's say I got a 20 kilowatt hour battery, and the most I've seen on my solar coming in was about 3,400 watts. And that's not consistent. I've seen consistently 2,300 watts consistently, and it charged my batteries in like 4 or maybe 7 to 4 hours, or 4 to 7 hours. It charged like that. It all depends. So, and that's if the battery's sitting at like 26%, and then it'll charge that long. But me, I'm gonna tell people all the time, keep your batteries topped off. Keep them topped off. But if you look at how simple this is, once you run that positive red line, wire down, and then you come up with the the negative black wire. So you go down with the positive red, and you come up with the negative black wire. And you run it to a bus bar. I got mine on a battery disconnect. Actually, I have a battery disconnect for the positive, and I have a battery disconnect for the negative. And that's usually for the spark that happens when, some people use resistors and stuff, but you can actually have a cutoff switch. Once you have that switch cut off, you won't get a spark. So, it's not that big of a spark. It's 48 volts, or 54 volts or whatever. But so once you run that, it's the batteries. It's just simple. But like I said, I am going to do a simple installation test. And I'm talking about a whole house, something that runs off grid. If you're thinking about going off grid, there are hybrid systems, and I talk about that in some of my older videos. There, you can do a hybrid system if you just want to run certain appliances off grid. That's fine too if you want to cut your bill down that way. But if you want to be completely off grid, this is the way you do it. Over 20 kilowatts. I recommend you to go over 20 kilowatt hours, because it's just, like I say, I have a 3-bedroom house. I can watch TV in all 3 rooms, but you got to understand, if you're just leaving the TV on and not in the room, then you're just draining kilowatts for what? For nothing, when you can just have it. This is a storage. You store power inside of these batteries, and you just don't want to waste it for no reason. Not saying you can't have on all lights, not saying you can't run all TVs and washer and all that, because in some of my previous videos I show you that I wash. You can wash, you can do everything that normal people do, but be a little conservative on your power, because why waste it? If people have a bunch of solar and the sun come out the next day, then of course in 2-3 hours it'd be charged back up to 100%. It's kind of like the Tesla car. It's the same way. You charge it every day, keep it charged every day. It can be discharged and charged back up. A lot of people say go to 85%, don't take it to 0. But hey, to me, all this is like a cell phone. Our battery go down to 0 and it comes back up to 100%. That's exactly how I look at my system. So I believe you can take it down to 0 and bring it back up. And I don't want to say, and I'm not saying that just to say it. See, this is the thing about a lot of videos that I watch, and that's the reason why I make the videos that I make, because a lot of people, if you're not doing it, don't talk about it. You can do all the math you want on it and say this and say that, but I'm physically living an off-grid life. I don't have no grid power connected to my house whatsoever. So I'm 100% relying on my system, these GYLL batteries, to keep my house running without draining the batteries fast or anything. So that's why I make videos and I talk about facts. I really don't go off of capacity tests unless it's actually on a house with everything running and day by day we depleting the batteries. That's the type of test I do. And that's why I'm trying to help people that want to go off grid. It's simple. Now, if you have a lot of appliances, 5,000 watts, I wouldn't recommend you to get that. I go with like a 15 kilowatt inverter, or at least a 10 kilowatt inverter. My house, I got a lot of efficient appliances, so it don't use that much power. So like my refrigerator, it uses about 1.1 amps. So the most that's stored up is about 400 or 500 watts. It'll cruise at about 70 to 120 watts, 70 to 120 watts. That's what it cruises at. So that's all. I don't want to take up y'all time. I do want to let y'all know that I did buy the UFO batteries. If y'all seen my last video about the new batteries, I am getting to the point where I'm going to hook that up. I'm just waiting on my grow watt inverter, 12,000 watt inverter. That way I can show y'all how to charge, Teslas on an off-grid system without, Tesla Powerwall. You can, it's the same, batteries are batteries. It's going to charge the same way as the Tesla Powerwall. And that's what I want to show people on that. So if y'all new to my page, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And y'all see me next week. I will post these videos because I will be installing those batteries next week. And like I said, I'm going to do a capacity test on the OffGrid GYLL and the OffGrid batteries, the UFO batteries. So I'm going to do a capacity test to figure out which ones are the best batteries. And whichever one of these batteries that win, I'm going to buy more. That's just what I'm going to do. Because it's 20 kilowatts of the UFO batteries and 20 kilowatts of the GYLL batteries. So whichever one wins, that's going to be the new batteries that I buy from now on. And I'm going to promote those batteries on every channel that I have. I haven't seen 24 volts on the UFO batteries, but I only seen, 48 volts. And they had 5,000 watt battery, and then also had 10 kilowatt battery, and you can buy up to 40 kilowatt hour batteries. That's what I've seen on eBay. Buy cheap solar, I believe that's the name. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the name. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'm the Texas OffGrid guy.